Hello, hello, hello. I don't even know you could hear me with this hat covering my mic, but we are covering 2025 again. And this time we are covering an author who is a relic. I dare I say a relic from the Reagan era. She is a fascinating creature. Her name is was it Diane? Oh, hold on. Let me pop out the window. It's a German name. Diane forgot Roth. Diana forgot Roth. And just to give you a aspect of who we're dealing with here, she has everything you think of. She has like the Twitter. She has a Wikipedia page, Heritage Foundation page, but most recently she has a Twitter. And on this Twitter, she says shit like Trump won't let America go down the yellow brick road of Europe's Alice in Wonderland energy policies. Like, bitch, what do you know about the politics of Wonderland? Like, for real. Like, what do you know about the politics of Wonderland? Oh, I know about the politics of Wonderland. There's a ruthless dictator who likes cutting off heads, and everyone fucking ignores her and doesn't take her seriously and makes fun of her. Am I right? I'm not wrong, am I? Did I lie? Did I lie? No, I did not. So, we're gonna jump straight into her chapter. Please go fucking bombard her Twitter because this is one of the many things she posted on Twitter was uh, saying America won't go down the yellow brick road of Europe's Alice in Wonderland energy policies. I find that fascinating. I find that super fascinating because that's two fucking franchises. One is American, one is British, and this lady, when she talks, she sounds British. So this is gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastical. So she is writing the chapter on the Department of Transportation, which is interesting because her actual job is climate change and climate stuff, but that chapter is already covered by somebody else. So we're gonna jump right in. I'll make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Diana forgot Roth. Diana forgot Roth. All right. America needs transportation. It's more abundant and affordable, as well as dignified, accessible, and family friendly. Okay. Transportation plays a vital role in prosperity, blah, 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 blah. Get to the good stuff. What are you going to do? Oh, she actually wrote. Oh, no. She has bullet points. We're going to be zooming through this chapter because I don't have a lot of time. And I already know whatever this lady's going to say, it's going to be stupid. And I'm not going to take it seriously. And I don't even think the Republican Party even takes half of their own policies seriously. They follow where the money goes. And that's becoming more and more evident as we go into this administration, which hasn't even started yet. And yet there is like so much drama. These bitches be like, oh, it's a civil war this, civil war that. Bitch, this ain't no war. You want war? You're going to manifest civil war? Keep talking like that, bitch. It's disagreements. Department of Transportation's fundamental problem is that instead of being able to focus on providing Americans with affordable, abundant transportation, it has become saddled with congressional requirements that reduce the department and de facto grant making organization. Yet there is little need for much of this grant making for two reasons. New technology enables private companies to change transportation in many areas, which could transform how innovation is financed. Oh, you saying private companies should invest in public transportation? That's what I'm hearing, lady. And I don't think that's reliable, but hey. Airport landing fees for aircraft, toll charges on roads and bridges, per gallon taxes on gasoline are all examples of user charges that affect decisions of transportation for system users. Bitch, this ain't a computer. I'm not a system user when I hop into a car. Jesus, lady. Excuse me. These changes could shift our nation's transportation away from being a top down system to being a misaligned with needs of so many Americans. Increasing the private sector financing could revolutionize travel. Oh my God. Yeah, really? Is Tesla going to invest in public transportation now? No, I don't think so because that costs money. That costs taxpayer money. There's a reason why we pay a lot of fucking taxes. It's because we need public transportation. And there's a reason why we don't rely on private equity for that. Because guess what? A company can go under. Shocking, I know. And guess what? If you have a public transportation system funded by a private company and that company goes under, there's no transportation. That is not reliable. Bitch, you're stupid. Sorry. I am not holding back today. I have limited time here. If funding must be federal, it should be efficient for U.S. Congress to send transportation grants to each of the 50 states, which allow each state to purchase transportation services that it thinks are best, such as an approach would enable states to prioritize different types of transportation according to the needs of their citizens. States rely more on automotive transportation, for example, and could use funding to meet those needs. It's kind of sly. It don't mention like buses or trains, just cars. Because, everyone could afford a car, right? Bitch, are you high? Bitch, are you stupid? Go read a book now because you're in school. All right, let's go. Meanwhile, many Americans continue to confront serious challenges with their day-to-day transportation, including the cost of increased dramatically in recent years. The Department of Travel current form is insufficiently equipped to address those problems. Build America Bureau. The Build America Bureau resides in the Office of Secretary and describes itself as a responsible driving transportation infrastructure development projects in the United States. At certain times, an economic cycle for many of the lower quality projects in this dubious economic return, similar loans and private sector are simply not available. Okay. What are your solutions? You got bullet points for me, okay? Let's go. The Build Bureau America, the BAB, the abbreviation is hilarious, BAB, the BAB. The BAB should ensure that these loans do not become grants in another form by maintaining requirement that all project borrowers are related to at least investment guide and major ratings. Okay. No grants, loans only. You know why they want loans instead of grants? Because loans you have to pay back. And so that would require all of these states to pay it back. And you know who that's going to cost? That's going to cost you because that's taxpayer money. So if you think that making this into a private affair is going to save you tax money, it's not. Just gonna put that out there. Project sponsors should be required to show that projects have positive economic value to taxpayers. Which, what did I just say? And sponsors that should guarantee all federal financing should be repaid through properly structured loan terms, including minimum equity commitment to all project sponsors. Project sponsors is code for private equity firms, or hell, McDonald's. All projects should be required to show repayment ability to various interest and rate environments. The BAB should ensure that long-term loans are structured appropriately with regard of fixing interest rates and hedging interest rates risk as part of borrowers avoiding financial stress, default driven solely by raising interest rates. Okay, this is interesting. She's already addressing like the biggest concern with loans is that the interest rates of these loans will go up over time, especially if they are not paid off. She's saying that's not a problem. Oh, that's not a problem. We'll put safeguards in place to where the interest rate won't go up too high, but we're still going to have an interest rate on your ass. Good to know. This is why public transportation is a public funded thing. But, these bitches won't listen. I'm really convinced that this isn't even a left versus right anymore. It's a bottom versus the top. You know what I mean? What the fuck does she know about public transportation? Does she ride it? Does she go on the bus? Does she go on the subway? No, she doesn't. She doesn't even drive her own car. She probably has a chauffeur. She probably has a private jet or some shit, okay? She's from the Reagan administration. You don't think she had money? Policymakers should promote awareness and promote transparency regarding the continued existence of this loan program, whether it be private or subsidized lending that the private sector simply cannot match. A cost-benefit analysis, federal government's potential replacement and private financing sector regarding infrastructure loans, which is not currently performed, should be conducted on a regular basis. Okay, let me tell you about private equity and private companies funding public transportation. Okay, y'all remember Seattle? Okay, you remember they were gonna build this big old subway tunnel. It was like round and shit. They spent a shit ton of money on it, and it ended up not being open despite being half built, but there were problems with it. Okay, you remember the Hyperrail, the hyper train that was gonna go from California to New York? Y'all saw that on the internet for a while. Okay, all of those were private equity projects. And guess what? All of them fucking failed. Is this what you want? Is this what you want? No, of course it's not what you want. It's what they want, because they could spend money and they could funnel that money and say that they're doing something when really they're fucking not. You know what I mean? And they're just wasting money, wasting our money as Americans for this shit. Public-private partnerships. Much infrastructure can be funded through public-private partnerships, P3s, private financing through construct infrastructure. In exchange for providing financing, the private partner typically retains the right to operate the assist under requirements specified by the government to a contract that called a concession agreement. In addition, a private partner is given the right to either collect fees from users or receive periodic payment from the government conditioned to assets ability. If a highway is not open to traffic, then it should be, for example, the government's payment to private concessions to be reduced. Oh no. So, the system we have now, we pay, like, you pay a bus fare. That goes straight to the bus. Under this shit, you pay your bus fare. That money doesn't even go back to the buses. It goes to the company with their shareholders and stockholders and all that fucking shit. And then they decide whether to spend money back on the buses to maintain it. But in this case, she's talking about highways. You expect a private company to maintain highways? Okay, bitch. Bitch, are you high? Bitch, are you stupid? Oh, excuse me. As well as providing better transportation for families and Americans, P3s offer a number of benefits to the government. Specifically, they, bullet point time, provide access to some of the world's best talented and vast experience in delivering infrastructure. I mean, that depends on the company, bitch. Create incentives for innovation and creativity. I'm sorry, we do not need creativity when it comes to highways. Have you seen those fucking spaghetti highways? Like those bridges that go loop-de-loop-de-loop-de-loop-de-loop? Okay, innovation, I get. Creativity? Bitch, what are you talking about? Are you going down the yellow brick road of your own Alice in Wonderland policies? Holy shit. Shift unique projects risks to companies that are familiar with those risks. And okay, you are not gonna not finish that sentence. She doesn't finish that sentence as has and goes straight to the next bullet point. My God. Let's talk about unique project risks. Are you saying your government is too stupid to understand the risks of building highways and maintaining buses? Because that's literally been your job for the past like 200 years, bitch. Like, come on. Allow designers, contractors, and maintenance teams to work together through a delivery of the process to focus on lifestyle costs as opposed to just initial design and construction costs. Lifestyle costs, a life cycle costs. Oh, life cycle costs, excuse me. They're already doing that. You know nothing about this. This is how I know she's from another department and she's writing this chapter from an outside looking in because and you may ask, Mo, what the fuck do you know about public transportation? I don't have a car. I fucking take it every day. Thank you very much. Okay. That's what I know about public transportation. I've been taking it all my fucking life. And maybe some of you have too. You know what I mean? It should be noted that project funding are not synonymous with policymakers, and government leaders frequently mistake financing P3 to provide for funding. Oh, God. Okay, this is where we get to the shady part of it. You want private companies in charge of these things that you're usually in charge of, right? And your solution is to just throw money at these companies and trust them with it? Like a bailout? Like like when Obama bailed out General Motors and there was that infamous ruling that companies are now people because companies have feelings and shit. And this is kind of like where we're at right now with politics as a whole is that like they don't see us as people with citizenship and rights. They see us as fodder for these companies that are recognized as citizens instead of us. And that's what's been happening for the past several decades. And no one fucking cares. And they really should. Finally, the possibility of the most important P3s give private party the ability to collect fees and payments over decades. My God. So these private companies are going to be siphoning money from us. She's adding a middleman. Where a lot of these policies from this book are like subtracting middlemen and subtracting workers, this lady is doing the opposite and adding the middleman between us who pay for our fees and the government who, well, should provide roads and assistance for that and all that shit. Emerging technologies, private companies develop future. My God, she's basically rolling the welcoming mat for like Tesla and Kathy Bates, Elon Musk, and all this shit. I can't stand it, girl. I can't stand it. Can I call bullshit already? Can we be done with this stream? I barely started this stream. Can we be done with it already? Oh no. Corporate Advantage Fuel Economy. And an abbreviation of that is CAFE. CAFE standards. Corporate Advantage Fuel Economy. CAFE. Do you feel smart for that? Like, is this just to confuse us? Like, Lord. One reason high numbers of injuries on American roadways is that the national fuel economy standards rise the price of cars. No. The reason why accidents happen is because not that lady. Oh my God. Decentivizing people from purchasing newer and safer vehicles. Oh, wait a second. You mean like electric cars? Oh, I'm sorry. Done. Okay. Congress requires the Security of Transportation to set a national fuel economy standards for new motor vehicles and the United States to mandate establish energy policy, blah, 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 blah. The Energy Policy Conservation Act of 1975, EPCA, a law passed in the wake of the Arab oil embargo to promote greater energy efficiency and lessen the national security threat of the U.S. dependence on foreign oil. I'm sorry, I gotta laugh. Hold on. You want fossil fuels to run the show, and yet you know that we're gonna run out of it. Even if you guys plunder reservations for their national resources and get their oil, you're still going to run out of it. And you're all going to still be relying on other people's oil. I'm just saying, like, and this is why other politicians are trying to move to electric vehicles and shit that, you know, should be something. Yeah, electric vehicles are not perfect. Okay. They run on lithium batteries, and lithium batteries are toxic in their own right. Okay. They should be focusing on making that shit cheaper and more affordable for families, and then having these electric charge stations more available. Once upon a time, before they had electric charge stations for electric vehicles, you could just plug that shit into your house. Like literally, like electric vehicles back in the day, like way back in the day before they were more conscious about that shit, you literally just plug that shit to your house, and that just cost you your electric bill. Okay. You'd think they'd be smart and do that. No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that because they don't fucking care. Congress recognize blah 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 blah. Mileage requirements for different categories of internal combustion engine ICE automobiles for each model year. Standards must be achievable using available internal combustion engines technologies running on gasoline, diesel fuel, and similar blah 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 blah. Okay, again, she's a fucking hypocrite. We don't want to rely on other people's oil, but we're still going to be relying on gasoline and stuff, which is going to run out. Oh God. Bitch, are you high? Bitch, are you stupid? Fossil fueling is not about it. I'm sorry. Like, go follow this lady on Twitter and just bombard her with questions. Like, she is, like, her post about America going down the yellow brick road of Alice in Wonderland energy policies has like 2 comments. I feel like that's a crime because I feel like what she said was really stupid, and she really should have more heat on her ass because, you know, she is not one of these newbies that is popping up. Okay, she's a relic from the Reagan era, and it shows. Congress chose to assign power to set the fuel economy standards to Department of Energy rather than the EPA. Oh, another case where they're like, oh, this shouldn't be this department's problem. It should be like the EPA's problem. And you want Mandy Swamp to be in charge of gasoline. Okay, lady. Or, okay. Sure. The pursuit of anti-fossil fuel climate agenda never approved by Congress. The Biden administration has raised fuel economy requirements levels that cannot realistically be met by most categories of ICE vehicles. La 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 la. Okay. Sidebar. Before we get into more of these bullet points, talking shit about the Biden administration, how they reach around Congress, which is something probably the other party's going to do eventually because they're having their own issues with Congress. Right now, we got they want to change leadership in Congress. They want to change the Speaker of the House to someone more aligned with the executive branch's values, which is funny. It's really funny because the current Speaker of the House is very fucking right wing and is really just trying to keep the place together. I feel like whoever they pick is gonna be some backlash, because guess what? They don't even want somebody that's this conservative. They don't want somebody that's a relic like her. They want somebody newer, hipper, someone who can compromise with some left policies to achieve their money agenda. Take the H-1B1 visas, for example. They all mad about that shit. They all mad about that shit because the Federalists are mad with the current administration because the Federalists just want American-made things made by American people. And so you already have the conflict going on, and the fool hasn't even sat in the office chair yet. This is what you voted for. I'm done. Actually, you know what? I voted for myself, so fuck it. I voted for next election. Just don't even write. Just write in a candidate. We'll pick somebody. Internet, pick Luigi. Oh my god. Hold up. Next election, don't vote Democrat or Republican. Vote for Luigi Mangione. You didn't hear it here. You didn't hear it here. Okay. Luigi for president. Luigi for president. Moreover, contrary to Congress's design, the Biden EPA has been given preeminence over regulation of fuel economy through setting carbon dioxide emissions limits to new motor vehicles, such as the Clean Air Act. Oh my God, she's coming after the Clean Air Act. Heaven forbid we have fucking clean air. I mean, even with the Clean Air Act in place, it doesn't stop LA from looking like smog town. You know what I mean? So even if you take it out, it's just going to make things worse. Like, whatever. The Biden administration has also granted California a special waiver under the Clean Air Act. Oh, look, an explanation for the thing I just said. That permits California Resources Board to issue its own fuel economy directives, notwithstanding the EPCA's prohibition on state standards. Oh my God. Under the waiver, CARB has ordered automakers to phase out a scale of industrial combustional automobiles in California to production of zero emission vehicles by 2035. The Clean Air Act allows, oh my God, I wonder who's going to be in charge by 2035. You ever think about that? Allows other states California's requirements of the CARB to effectively determine economy, blah, 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 blah. They mad. We get it. Lady, you mad that we're not using fossil fuel still. You mad that California gets some kind of preferential treatment when it comes to these policies. Reduce proposed fuel economy levels. In this, the administration should consider returning to minimum average fuel economy levels specified by Congress for a model year of 2020 vehicles levels, achieving a vast wide net. Okay, here's the thing about all of this. She's saying that people are too scared to buy new cars because of how expensive they are and that they're too eco-friendly. Here's the thing. People love old cars. People love old cars. They love restoring old cars. They love driving older vehicles. When you see one on the street, it's hard not to be like, hey, damn, that's a nice car, because it's shiny and shit, right? What are they going to do about that? Nothing. They're going to do a whole lot of nothing. So Despite both sides trying to make policies about fuel economy, it will be for naught. It'll be for nothing. It'll be in vain. This whole chapter is written in vain by someone who is out of her depth and is used to being in a different side of the political sphere. But she's been in politics so long that, hey, this is her bread and butter. You know what I mean? It's ensure that the Department of Transportation again exercises priority in setting fuel economy standards. Any EPA limits on carbon dioxide emissions, even authorized under the Clean Air Act, must support the work harmony that the Department of Transportation standards must override them or usurp the Department of Transportation's regulatory role under the EPCA. For example, the EPA could regulate air conditioning systems and leave engine standards to the Department of Transportation. Oh, this is getting interesting. You getting air conditioners in the mix? You gonna shift the blame on greenhouse gases to air conditioners instead of cars? This is gonna get wild. Oh, this is gonna get wild if they end up going with her policies. It's gonna be interesting. Because there are some states that are so cold they don't have those things. They don't have heaters. And there are some states that are so hot that they don't have air conditioners. So this is going to be like a real back and forth. It's going to be interesting. Revoke special waiver granted to California by the Biden administration. I mean, I'm not even going to argue that one. Like, I'm not even going to read her sentence because I don't disagree that California should play by the rules. I think California should play by the rules. Because if the Democratic Party is going to keep siphoning California laws into federal laws, I feel like California should be playing by those rules. Okay, like just saying. Moreover, the course of the decade, blah 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 blah. More bullet points. Let's read them. Seek refocus on the Federal Highway Administration. Seek a refocus on the Federal Highway Administration, maintaining and improving highway system, remove or reform rules and regulations to hamper state governments, and reduce the amount of federal involvement in local infrastructure decisions. Did I tell you that this lady likes deregulation? Much like these videos the past couple of times, I've deregulated them, made them live, and now you see the result. Nobody watches them. I don't fucking care. Because this is important shit that I need to talk about. I'll make a grand edit later, but who cares? But this is deregulation. This is a whole page talking about just deregulating it, getting the federal government out of the Federal Highway Admission. It's in the name, lady. It's the Federal Highway Admission. It's in the name. You saying the feds shouldn't be part of the Federal Highway Admission? And that should be left to the states? And moreover, left to us, the taxpayers? Oh, no, that's not your intention. You want to give it to private equity, huh? You want to have McDonald's fund the highway or Tesla fund the highway instead of us. I'm so done. Oh, excuse me. Aviation. Oh, boy. So this is going to get interesting. Aviation is mostly privatized. I say that with wholehearted confidence and with my full chest because of the shit that's happening with Boeing and the shit that keeps happening with Boeing, that private company, the shit that happens with Spirit Airlines and all that shit. All of those are private companies. So most of that is already privatized. With the exception of, TSA agents that commit suicide because there's another government shutdown. I'm sorry, did I say that? I meant it. Publicly indicate that the new administration should support joint venture efforts by smaller carriers, for example, JetBlue and Spirit, to achieve scale necessary to reduce costs and compete more efficiently with larger carriers. God, this aged like milk. This aged like fine, this aged like white milk. Oh, by the way, I don't believe in prophecies. I don't believe in superstitions. However, before Trump took over, uh, the place where I worked, there was an eagle on top of an American flag, and the flag fell and broke the eagle, made it a right wing eagle. The left wing broke off. I have milk in my refrigerator, white milk, vitamin D whole milk that will go bad on January 6th. The white milk will go bad on January 6th. I'm just that's all. I'm not superstitious or anything, but if the milk goes bad on January 6th, I mean, who's to stop them? The National Guard? That's your own people. Are you going to attack your own people? Are you going to attack your own base? That's I got questions, no answers, but prophecies. Review foreign ownership and control limitations if necessary to work with Congress to change existing statutes, worldwide investors. This is interesting because this addresses specifically the bullet train highway, the bullet train that was supposed to go from California to New York. That was a foreign investment, and it went under because it was an Arabian foreign investor. Okay, so that's an interesting bullet point, and it exists for a reason. Also, Spirit Airlines is bankrupt and going under. So her mentioning Spirit Airlines is fucking hilarious because they are no more because they were done under by the bigger companies. So already, your plan ain't looking too good, lady. And this document's going to be aged like milk. And we're day 1 or day 2 into 2025. We're barely here, okay? I was about to film this shit on New Year's, but I had shit to do. So, like, this is not a good sign, lady. Establish new entry initiatives that commits federal government to approving and rejecting applications for new air carriers for the next within 12 months. Okay. Immediate rulemaking to allocate all slot pairs more consistently to airlines to capacity control airports on a primary basis of safety, maximizing capacity and competition. They say competition breeds innovation. I think competition breeds foolishness. Because what's going to happen when you have a plane with over max capacity because it's trying to compete with another company? You're going to have an accident, aren't you? Yes, you are. You don't even have to blame Homelander for that shit. That plane's going down. In a perfect world, the market would dictate these options. But in the highly regulated international aviation sector, the current incentives to keep out competitors, slot regulations, have not been updated since the 1990s. Mm-hmm. Shade. Oh. In the wake of the 2009 Airlines crash, all commercial pilots and larger, safer twin-engine planes with 2 pilots have been phased out of service for smaller airports, replaced by single-engine planes and only have 1 pilot. This trend could be reversed if co-pilots were required to have fewer flight hours or could count certified simulator training. Federal blah 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 blah. This lady doesn't know what you're talking about. My God. Federal Aviation Administration. I'm not seeing. Okay. Okay. So before she changes the subject, before any of these people change the subject, they got bold letters and they say what they're covering. Did I just not read Federal Aviation Administration? Oh, Federal Highway Administration. Okay. Aviation. It's just aviation. Okay. Now, what's the Federal Aviation Administration going to do about this? The FAA was once considered the government's best aviation agency. Excuse me. The Federal Aviation Administration was once considered the best in 1958. Lady, girl, you is a relic. My God. I don't even know what to say to you. Like, separate the Federal Aviation Administration from the Department of Transportation, or at minimum, separate. Oh my God. If the Department of Transportation can't oversee its own departments, are you just going to give it to the private sector? Why does the Federal Administration for Aviation have to not be federally controlled? It's in the fucking name. Bitch, are you high? Bitch, are you stupid? Go read a book now because you in school. It don't matter because all your friends got cash now. It's just life. Until that plane crashes too. Then it's death because the plane crashed. You're welcome. All right, this lady, I'm not having it. This is probably going to be a short episode because I'm really not having this chapter today. Oh, not only are you going to take away the Federal Aviation Administration, you're going to relocate it to a separate headquarters in the District of Columbia. Why, though? Why? A shift to aviation user taxes and a shift from aviation user taxes and fees. Oh my God. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. We pay taxes to maintain these things. She wants to change the word taxes to fees. That way, they have more control over the money and where it goes, and it doesn't go to the right place. If it is not a tax that goes to funding the thing, she's going to make it a fee. And if she makes it a fee, the private sector can say, oh, with this fee money, we could buy a golf course or make a new airport next to Mar-a-Lago or some stupid shit. You know what I mean? Like, this shit's stupid. You're eliminating taxes, but at what cost, lady? At what cost? Federal transit policy. The definition of mobility continues to evolve dramatically within the rise of new concepts, traveler needs, and emerging capabilities. Like the bus? No, you don't care about that. The COVID-19 pandemic caused a substantial decline in all forms of transportation. Mass transit has been the slowest mode to recover. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. All right, here's the meat and bones of her shit. It is vital to move away from using the Highway Trust Fund to prop up mass transit. Why, though? What are we going to use the Highway Trust Fund for if not for the highways? What are you going to use that money for? Are you going to steal it? Like you always steal our fucking money? A fund is driven to and repeated bailouts through decades of transfers and transit without any increase in transit usage or so of it. Okay, you mad that we're Lady, what? Hold up. Okay. Pause. Like, do we really need to be traveling more just for her numbers to go up to have her approve that the Highway Trust Fund is necessary? Because I feel like the Highway Trust Fund would be necessary to repair fucking roads, unless you want private equity and McDonald's to fund that shit, which they won't. I'm done. Federal railroad policy. Okay. Now this one is going to be interesting because the railroad has seen better days. I will admit, I have rode the train more often than planes, and I know this. The trains have seen better days. And it doesn't help with the Democrats' union busting tactics for trains, which caused in a major fucking accident. They wanted was fair pay for their work. Instead, they fired most of them. The result was a horrible fucking accident. So let's see what their response is. Are they even going to address the thing I just mentioned? Probably not. The Federal Railroads Administration's notice of proposed rulemaking on crew size is not based on safety considerations. It is designed to reduce flexibility by making it impossible for railroads to operate with crews fewer than two in circumstances where there is no operational need for a second crew member. We're a party for the working class people. But we hire one motherfucker to run this train instead of two. Bitch, are you high? Bitch, are you stupid? I'm done. I'm so done. This isn't even a battle between left versus right anymore. It's the bottom versus the top. And you know it, I know it. Tell everyone else in the political sphere that the game has changed. The game has fucking changed, okay? Because this is getting fucking ridiculous. It's getting fucking ridiculous, and I'm calling bullshit. I'm not even going to cover maritime policy because that shit, cruises are a luxury, and I ain't covering that shit. Unless it has to do with the Navy, I ain't covering it. Conclusion: Americans are more abundant and Americans need more abundant and affordable transportation. No shit. They need more affordable and safer cars, as well as physical aspects of transportation, such as railroads, bridges, airports, and rail lines. The Department of Transportation should be evaluating each aspect of transportation, contributing economic blah, 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 blah. All too often, the Department of Transportation mission has been described as reducing the number of trips and by using less fuel and raising costs of travel of Americans, though it does the increased use of renewables. These goals are not compatible and should not be compatible with the Department of Transportation's purpose to make it travel easier and less expensive. This is what the American people want, and this is what the Department of Transportation should provide. If it's too cheap, that's a risk, and people will die. If you have one motherfucker running the train, people will die. Okay, but you want two motherfuckers running a plane? It's because you. It's because these rich people like using aviation a lot. That's why, huh? That's why you're taking care of the aviation department, but the railroad people gotta fucking starve. Okay. In short, Diana forgot Roth is fucking stupid, and you should go follow her ass on Twitter and tell her she's fucking stupid. Because even on her Twitter, it says she's the director of Energy and Climate Center. She's not in charge of the Department of Transportation. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. And if she does know what the fuck she's talking about, she's being fucking devious about it. So, and we're done with this chapter. We are done with this chapter. By the time we get back, we'll get to the Department of Veteran Affairs by Brooks T. Tucker. Now, this is going to hit close to home for a lot of people. This next episode is going to be intense because I know a lot of veterans in my life, and I'll be just as heated as today, if not more heated. And you already know what that's going to be like. You already know what that's going to be like. Okay, by the time we get back, we'll be on page 674. We'll be on 674 of this hellscape of a document. After this, we'll have only 17 authors left. My God, just 17 more episodes of this? My God, please make it stop. I'm going to finish this series. This shit is important, and it'll affect your life or Americans' lives for the next couple of years. I dare I say it'll affect you internationally, because if you wonder why Americans are bitter and stupid and angry, these will be the reasons why. Okay. Whether they go through with their own policies is up to the money. It's where the money goes. You ever see Aladdin? Remember that quote from Jafar? You ever hear of the golden rule? No? Whoever has the gold makes the rules. We're getting to that point in American culture, and it's getting sickening, and I really don't like it. But yeah, no. Next presidency, 2028, do a write-in to your favorite Nintendo character. I recommend that, because we ain't gonna see change with all these fat cats in those offices, okay? I hope you had fun today, because this is a mess. This is a mess. And this is my favorite song of the day. I'm sorry I be singing today, because like it's just one of them days. I just gotta move. I gotta sing. I gotta sing about how stupid this bitch is. All of them. All of them are stupid. Left or right, they're stupid because they're all up top. Okay, and we're down here. Okay? This isn't left and right anymore. You know that. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you on. You already know that. Okay? And just have a great day, you know. Bitch, are you high? Bitch, are you stupid? We are not stupid. We see right through you. It really matters, because your policies don't fucking matter. That's just life. Gonna train crash through. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this stream and me descending into madness. I have other stuff on my channel. This channel is literally over a decade old. You'll see. Just have fun. Go hug your families. Love yourself. Respect yourself. And don't let these policymakers tell you you ain't shit. Because guess what? They ain't shit. Okay? Love you guys. You take care.